wanted to bring you another update for the emulator. It is the month of May, so I guess it's been almost a month since my last devlog. I wanted to showcase something new. I try and always bring you guys something new, and so I have some exciting stuff for you today. I think since the last video, obviously focus has been on bug fixing, so been working on those, but as far as system design goes and new content, was able to provide something new for you guys, and I'd like to show that. So I apologize, the screen is not 100%, but that's okay. Now, right away when I log in, you might notice something on my character here. Those of you with the astute eye might see that I have this bow here. Now, the name on this is messed up. However, you can see these other ones here that I've looted. The names are not messed up. So when you guys play, you won't have sort of the mess up that I have. But this one has a cool effect on it. And then obviously I still have the regular kind of weapons down here, but this is the cool venom looking one. Now, this only works right now for weapons, so this was kind of a test run to see if I could figure out a system that would allow us to take the effects that exist that we have and apply them to weapons. And so as you can see here, again, the title's screwed up, don't worry about that, but you can see that I generated this randomly. Now, on the back end, there's a lot of flexibility for the designer to pick and choose which monsters can drop which kind of effects. Right now, the way I've set it up is just to have basically all the weapon effects drop on the lowest level monsters. So you might have something that is ridiculously overpowered spawn on a low level item, which is not realistic. So as the designer goes through and works on them, they'll be able to flesh that out and make it so that we don't have ridiculous effects spawning on items that it shouldn't. Now, I'm still teasing apart a little bit the visual effects. I do believe this should be flamey looking, but I could be mistaken. I'm still working that stuff out. It's not as straightforward as it seems. But, you know, obviously the system's come a long way. Now, this proc will work. So for example, the target's combat speed is reduced for 15 seconds, equivalent to level 20 Stillwater. So this will actually work if it procs. So I don't know the proc chance on this one particularly. I think it's about 10%, but again, still pretty cool. Interestingly, this helmet has no icon. That's very curious. Okay, well that's, you know, again, fleshing things out. Now, one other cool thing too is when I was fixing a lot of these bugs, I tried to fix issues with some people were reporting that certain abilities didn't work when the Vigor cost was a certain value. And so I went ahead and tried to fix that, and I think I did, but not 100% sure. And the other thing too that I did was I made it so that critical strikes can now actually be calculated. So if you have weapons with critical strike chance on them, they do have the ability to crit. And so you should see that. It's, again, this is all random, so I might not be able to find a weapon with crit on it, but it is there. And again, very customizable for the designer. So if the designer, for example, wants only certain effects to drop from certain monsters, you know, they could make that happen. The system right now isn't designed in such a way that you could weight certain effects. So, for example, so you can make some rarer than others. But that's something we absolutely could do in the future if we wanted to make some effects more sought after than others. We could do that. So we'll just have to, keep developing the system. Other little things that I did, like for example, right here you'll see you actually tells you how much experience you gain now. That wasn't happening before. I also fixed the examination panel. Now, when I designed all this, when I designed this whole system for enchants, believe it or not, I had to hook up these sorts of things like effect on successful hit. And for example, if you have an effect that is, for example, lowering the combat delay or something, then that's another type of system you kind of have to create on the back end, because some of the enchants are permanent and some of them are, they're procs. And so you have to kind of come up with a way to, you know, create a system that allows you to differentiate the two in a sensible way, so that when you examine the item you can see that, and that so when you run the logic for combat you can actually try and proc the procs and not the others. And so let me see, is there an item here that has no? So these are no permanent effects here. And again, right now the maximum effect that you could have on an item I think is 3, and I think that's kind of because of the way Turbine designed it on the back end. We could go ahead and increase that amount if we wanted to, but we would have to create some special logic for that. So right now, just starting with the basics and working with that. So all these items have just dropped with 1. It's about, the way I set it up right now, it's about a 15% chance to get the maximum number of effects on an item, and that's controllable by the designer as well. So for example, if the designer only wants Vermin to be able to drop a maximum of 1 item or 1 enchant per item, they could set that up. If they wanted it to be 2, they could set that up too. So, you could have, for example, Shreths, maybe you say, okay, they can drop 3 enchants on an item max, but it'll be rare. Oh, there you go. See, here's a permanent effect example. So you see the Vigor cost is reduced, and you can see here reduces the weapon's Vigor cost by 4. So voila. And that is on the item. So that's pretty cool. Now, there was such a thing as incomparables back in the day. They were like yellow items that had durability. I don't really know the logic behind how that worked. I don't know what Turbine, how they, what was the concept behind an incomparable? Was it that it had 5 to 10% more damage possible for an item its level? I don't know. Was it that all of its stats were increased by 50%? And so if you found it, it was like really strong, but of course it would wear out. I really don't know. If there's a blog post somewhere or a thread or something online that explains what the concept behind incomparables were, then we could implement them. But right now I don't know what the idea and concept behind those were, so I didn't even bother trying to design anything like that. So right now you're just getting a bunch of items that have effects on them. They're just regular blue magical. And again, they can have up to 3 depending on what you allow. I think for the Vermin, I only allowed a maximum of 2. Again, with 2 requiring 15% chance, or only having a 15% chance. So, it's all RNG as well. Now these, because they, yeah, see, these don't seem to have any kind of visual effect on them like the bow. But again, I'm still working on that visual effect thing. So anyways, that was kind of the big thing. And again, a lot of bugs and things like that that we tried to fix. We're always trying to fix them. And obviously, we're still working on a network fix. So that's all still not done yet. And by the way, the reason why a ton of magic items are dropping right now is because I jacked up the drop rate on magic items very high as I was testing this. So I think Vermin Pilfer have a 100% chance to enchant weapons when they drop right now. And again, because I'm only doing weapons, that's all you're going to see. But yeah, that's why all these weapons like this are dropping. So obviously this will be tuned differently when you're playing so that, you know, it's a little more balanced and fair. Okay, guys. Let's see. I can't equip that, but anyways, hope you guys found that really exciting, and obviously we're going to keep iterating on this. We're going to eventually move towards jewelry, and we're going to move towards armors, and we're going to try and give the designers the ability to be super creative if they want to. But this was just a first pass. It was mostly to stress and test the system out, and so it's going to be on the emulator in the near future like this for you guys, and you'll be able to get in there and find some cool items and really, you know, yeah, have some fun with it. Okay, and if you haven't been following the Discord, we have had a lot of new spawns added to the world. So, you know, there's all kinds of new monsters to fight and new ways to break the server, new things to test out. So, you know, feel free to jump on and give that a try. All right, guys. Thanks again for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video. If I have anything new and exciting between now and next month, I will certainly try and share it with you guys, but that's all I got for right now. All right, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in Dareth.